Welcome back to codingcat.dev, where we give you cats the freshest dose of dev snacks. Here is Alex Patterson and Brittany Postma. This episode brought to you by Storyblok. Build anything and publish everywhere. With us today, we have Nick Hodges. I don't even know what to say. Do I say from Passage still?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, because I think we're going to talk about
that a little
changes
bit. Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Nick, do you want to give us a little bit on your background and kind of how you arrived at Passage on your journey?
Sure. I've had quite a storied career. Well, I shouldn't say storied. I should say varied. That's probably a better word. I was a classical languages major in college and had no clue what to do with that. So I taught high school Latin for 2 years.
Holy smoke.
And I did that in Texas because in Texas they have Latin as part of the state curriculum. But that didn't work out real well because I was 17 going on. I was 23 going on 17, and most of the students were 17 going on 35. So didn't quite work out that well. But so I saw a U.S. Navy ad and I dialed 1-800-GO-NAVY or whatever. Next thing I know, I was signed up at Aviation Officer Candidate School. I did the Navy for 12 years. I was an intelligence officer, spent a lot of time in F-18 squadrons. But along the way, I got a
does that mean you were like a coder at that point, or
no?
What's that mean to be
an intelligence officer?
Yeah,
it's like
I feel like this is CIA moment or something.
How do I tell? Yeah, they have them on TV. They show like naval intelligence officers on TV, and it's like 142 times more interesting on TV than it is in real life. I shouldn't say that. The first part of my career was as I said, in F-18 squadrons, and my job was to teach the pilots and train the pilots on threat. Which back then was the Soviet Union. Dating myself there a little bit, but. Then after that, my job was to brief admirals and generals and things like that on what was going on in whatever part of the world they were concerned about, things like that. But along the way, I got a information technology management degree from the Naval Postgraduate School.
Nice.
It's like the best kept secret in the Navy. It's like in Monterey. You're a full-time student. You're getting your full lieutenant's pay, and you just get to do fun stuff. And so along the way, I kind of picked up Turbo Pascal. And then that rolled into Delphi, if anybody remembers.
Yep.
Delphi. And I stuck with that for quite a while. And at some point, I actually worked for Borland, the company that made Delphi, as the Delphi product manager and all that kind of stuff. And then I ended up as a manager out here in Pennsylvania, managing the development team for a company called Gateway Ticketing. They make ticketing systems for some of the biggest amusement parks in the world. And all along that time, I was writing blogs. I started blogging, way back, early days, before, I think it was even before it was called a blog. I don't know. But I really liked doing it. I liked writing. I did a lot of blogging about Delphi, things like that. So I was kind of a big fish in that small pond.
You were like a dev advocate before it was a thing.
Right. That's kind of what happened. So I would blog, I would go to conferences, I'd present, I'd do all that stuff, and I really like it. And then a couple of years ago, I realized, hey, I can get paid to do this. So I made the move over to do that, and had a couple jobs in the developer advocacy space in the startup world, which is a little volatile. So I kind of bounced around a little bit. And about 6 or 8 months ago, I was looking for work and got contacted by a recruiter for a job at Passage. And I talked to the CEO, our CEO, Cole Hecht, and he was just such a great guy. And when I found out that they were all about getting rid of passwords, I'm like, I want to get on this. I want to get on board with this because I don't like passwords. They're just a big security hole. But so anyway, that's how I ended up at Passage. And I've been doing blogging and conferencing and presenting and social media-ing.
What would you say is your go-to language today now?
Now I'm a TypeScript guy. About 5 or 6 years ago, I started doing Angular and TypeScript. Started teaching myself that, doing that, teaching. My technique for learning something is to sign up to teach it to somebody, to a class.
It forces you to learn, right?
Exactly, right. So I had like 6 months to sign up to teach a day-long seminar. in-person
Nice.
seminar. It was before COVID.
Well, that's
And
awesome. That's a really cool story, especially like going for
thanks.
the, I don't know if you call it free education. You're doing something for it, but a really
Hmm.
nice way to get through the education portion of it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
there's kind of a hot take, recent news. So, do you want to talk about the OnePassword deal?
Yeah, so Passage, my company, was recently acquired by OnePassword. And that's really great. It worked out really well. It's a good, melding of minds, as it were. Uh, OnePassword is very interested in a passwordless future. But the cool part is that they're just letting us go. And no, it's not letting us go. What's the right phrase? They're leaving us alone to do our thing. What we do is we create the ability for developers to easily embed passwordless authentication into their web applications and mobile applications, which is different than what OnePassword does, which is more password management. Now, those two things are going to merge sometime here in the future. But for now, OnePassword is leaving us alone and letting us do our thing. And so, I'm a Passage guy as far as I'm concerned in my approach to everything that's going on. And I'm out there trying to tell developers how easy and straightforward it is to implement passwordless authentication in their apps.
That's amazing. So let's at the kind of high level, like passwordless, that's easy. I don't need my password anymore, but okay, what the heck does that mean? Like from a high level perspective, can you just break down like what Passage does or like the how to
Sure.
use it for login?
Yeah. So it's actually really kind of cool. There's an organization that was formed about 10 years ago called the FIDO Alliance, the Fast ID Online Alliance. And it was originally founded by, I think the biggest name in there was PayPal, actually.
Okay.
But along the way, Microsoft and Google and Apple joined up. OnePassword joined up. Passage is a member of the FIDO Alliance. And the mission of the FIDO Alliance was to create to eliminate passwords and create a passwordless world. And so they came up with what they call the Web Authentication Protocol, short called WebAuthn for short, AUTHN, for short. And it's just basically a protocol that can be implemented by browsers and mobile applications to enable the communication with the biometrics on systems. Or actually, technically, it's 99.9% of the use cases are biometrics, but technically it doesn't require biometrics. But that's an overwhelming use case. And so what happens is the browser enables the WebAuthn protocol, and then we provide code and web components to embed in any JavaScript-based front end. And we work with backends too to leverage the WebAuthn protocol and enable people to, and we provide the entire service basically. Any developer could implement the WebAuthn protocol for their own website. They could manage the users and all that kind of stuff. Then, of course, once you do that, you have to be responsible for keeping up with any loopholes, bugs, vulnerabilities, and things like that. Whereas we're in the business of doing that. So, it's the classic convenient SaaS solution.
That's what a lot of people try to say is like, don't roll your own authentication.
It's like the number one thing not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's debates about that. There's people that want to do it themselves, and that's fine. It's all out there, but we're in the business of making that easy for people. So
Very cool. I think what we're gonna do is we'll take a pause real quick to hit the sponsor button, and then when you come back, I think you're gonna do a little demo for us, right?
Sure, yeah, I'd love
Awesome. Sounds good.
How in the world could I forget about this?
There's no need to freak out. We have Storyblok.
Robert, you're right.
But we still need a plan.
Okay, how much time do we have left until the launch?
24 hours.
Okay, let's go.
We are ready to publish.
So let's get this baby online.
So Nick, can you, I assume it's a desktop demo. Can you show us?
Sure. We have a demo on our website. Should I share my screen? Is that what I need to do?
Yeah, and I think I'll try to bring it up on my phone as well. So while you're sharing your screen, I'm gonna jump out to the website. Britt, you should try this on your phone. It's wild.
On your phone? What?
Yeah. So if
Okay.
you go, so it's passage.id and then
Passage.id/demo.
demo. Yes. Okay.
Okay, so this is our demo site. As you can see, it's passage.id/demo. And you can go to this with your phone or with your browser, like I am. And there's a two-step process. So normally when you come to a website that you haven't ever been to before, they want you to register, right? And that usually is something along the lines of type in your email, and then they have 2 boxes for your password that you have to enter twice. And they have a certain criteria of letters and numbers and capitals and special characters and things like that they want you to type a password in. And oftentimes you use a nice tool like OnePassword to do this work for you. But the passwordless experience is even easier. So in this case, I'm going to type Nick plus 50. That's just
A couple examples later.
Yeah, a couple of examples later. Passage.id, and that's my unique identifier, right? I'm registering with the site. I press continue, and it says, hey, you want to register without a password. And the whole site here, too, is explaining everything that's going on. You've got about passkeys over here. So, yeah, I want to register my device. And in this case, my device is a Windows 11 computer that enables Windows Hello for biometrics. Unfortunately, my biometrics are tucked away. So now it's going to ask me to register with my Windows
Yeah, I
Hello.
was trying to show mine. You can see my thumbprint is up, but it's not focusing on my phone. But it's using the biometrics on the phone when you do
Right.
it.
Yeah, on your phone it should let. So with Windows here, I can go more choices and I can select PIN, and then I can enter my PIN.
Yeah.
And it says, yep, you're registered, right? So now I'm a registered user.
So the wild part, like just for clarification for folks, this isn't Nick's password. He's just registered his, I think it's down to the browser, right? The browser to this.
Yes. Yeah, it registers this device. Yes. And so now I'm registered. So it says it's easy. Try logging in. So I want to log in. Now I've registered. Now they will say, okay, you got to log in. So I'm going to hit continue. And once again, it's just going to ask me for my PIN. Or in this case, if my laptop were open and I'm not using it on my desk here, I could just touch the button on my, the fingerprint reader on my laptop. But in this case, I'll type in my PIN, and boom, I'm successfully logged in. So I just registered and logged in what was that? Less than a minute.
Yeah.
And
no passwords to like remember or anything. I guess
nothing.
In this case it's a PIN, but still.
I have a question though. So won't this
Sure.
OnePassword is to manage your passwords. If you don't have any passwords, what happens?
They just bought the future though, right?
Right.
That's interesting. That's interesting that you asked that. OnePassword today announced their support for being a repository of pass keys.
Okay.
So that you could use your pass keys across platforms much more easily than, say, being part of the Apple ecosystem. And that's just one way of doing it. If people want to use Apple as their store of pass keys, they can do that. But OnePassword is interested in being a repository of pass keys as opposed to passwords. And of course, it's going to take a while before everybody is pass key enabled, passwordless enabled. So OnePassword's ready for that. Yeah. But the cool thing about this is it basically was implemented. You can implement this kind of thing with the classic line I say is with 2 lines of code. Basically, just embed a web component that we provide and that you can get on NPM. Excuse me, NPM, and it's very easy to embed into your system. So, and once you're logged in, this whole page here tells you a little bit about how implementing it and how we make it simple and all that kind of stuff.
Something that I didn't realize, and maybe it's part of the demo, when I went to go from the desktop over to my phone, it said you're already registered. How does that work between multi-device?
Excuse me. Hang on. I need to cough. Sorry.
No problem. I think winter is officially here. I've been sick for a week. Brittany's sick.
Yeah.
Nick sounds like he's got something going on. So
Yeah. So that's a good question. Pass keys are shareable in as much as they are end-to-end encrypted and storable on remote systems. So like Apple, if you log in on your iPhone, if you register and log in passwordless, you create a pass key, and those pass keys are shared through the iCloud. So if you go over to your MacBook Pro and go to that same site, type in the same identifier, it'll say, hey, do you want to sign in with your pass key?
Nice.
Because that pass key has come over from the phone through the iCloud. Google's doing the same thing. Microsoft's working on the same thing. And OnePassword is working, we're working on that as well, trying to make it so that you can move those across. Now, right? So that is a really big benefit too, is that you don't have to register on every device.
And so typically, is this always done through the web side of things? Is it a web API that opens up this capability? You don't have to like install anything on a native phone or anything like that?
You do not. The application, say on a native phone, will implement an SDK that hooks up to, say, our Passage backend. And each individual application has to do that, and it just naturally talks to and works with the biometric system on your phone.
Nice.
I registered and then used the same email back on the demo on the desktop, and it sent me like a magic link to my email, and then that synced them.
Nice.
Yes, that's another way that can work. Does your laptop have biometrics and Windows 11?
I'm on Windows 11. It does not have biometrics.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm gonna try this on the screen. We'll see. So
Okay,
here's the demo.
right.
If I click continue, it says, okay, do you want to use your face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're using Face ID.
I'm going to register with device. Why didn't it pop up? Hang on one sec. Try again. It popped up before. I don't know what happened.
Whoa.
Face ID never works. That's why I like my thumbprint.
Thumbprint. Yeah, I use Thumbprint too myself, but the Face
I
ID
have a
should work.
Samsung, but
It wants me to, I wonder if it has it cached. It wants me to go back to the email again. Let me try this one more time. Let's do Alex4.
I just used the same email and it worked.
Okay, here we go. So that little pop-up on the bottom says sign in,
Right.
and then I'll hit continue, and then it just did the whole face recognition thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's pretty
No
slick.
passwords anywhere. Yeah.
I love that.
It's really slick. Yeah.
Except for like when someone knocks me out and steals my phone and just there's
Holds
a
it up to your
space.
face. Yeah, that's a problem. That could be a problem. So the other question, a lot of question people have is, well, what if I'm at my friend's computer or I'm at the library or something like that? Well, if you notice, when you go to the demo, it'll ask you, send me an email link, and that's what Brittany did, and it sends you what's called a magic link, which is a time-limited, one-time use link to log you in, and so then you can go to your email and click on that link, and you're logged in, and it leaves no vestige on the computer, which is nice. There's no password that gets entered in somewhere or something like that if you type it into a publicly facing computer. So pretty cool. Works
So
well.
can we break down a little bit of, I'm going to throw terms out that I don't fully know or understand or try to pretend to.
Sure.
So I'm familiar with when you're logging in, you get like JOT tokens and things like that to authenticate back through.
That's
or
what we
OAuth,
use.
OAuth 2, that whole handshake that you go through. How does this actually marry up with those technologies?
Well, our system delivers a JOT, So it works. That's what the basics of it, how it works.
Okay.
But the way this is different is when you're, it uses public-private key encryption. So if you're on your phone and you come to when you came and you registered, what happened when you registered was you typed in a unique identifier and then say, I want to register. And so that gets sent to our site as the authenticator for the relying party website. And at that moment, your phone, let's say it's your phone, or same thing happens on Windows 11. Your phone creates a public-private key pair. It takes the private key and sticks it into something called a TPM, a Trusted Platform Module,
Okay.
which is like this special chip that's specifically designed to hold secrets, and it's considered impregnable. I don't want to say any system is impregnable, but right now nobody knows how to hack into it. I'm not even sure the NSA or whatever could do it. But and then it puts that private key in there, and the only way to get the private key out is through your biometrics. It then takes the public key and sends that to us for storage. So,
That totally
and
makes
that
sense.
public-private key is paired specifically to the website. So if it goes to passage.id, you can't go to PASSSAG.id or some other type of website that might try and appear to be passage.com, as in a phishing attempt or something like that. So if you don't, it's registered right to that site. Yeah.
So if you were to do, let's say we put this on CodingCat and you log in there, that's a completely different set of public-private keys at that point.
Correct. Totally
Is there
different.
any
And
capability to stay logged in like a Google login across different sites?
Sessions.
across different sites?
Mm-hmm.
Not at this time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just
Um,
thinking through like all the scenarios that are kind of floating.
Yeah, I understand.
around.
Yeah. So then what happens then is so now the site has your public key and the phone has the private key. So then when you go to log in, you type in your identifier and the website says, hey, I know you. Let me grab your public key from Passage and we're the authenticator in this process, but the website basically says, hey, here's your public key. I'm going to send you some little chunk of data, and I want you to sign that data with your private key, their iPhone. So the iPhone says, okay, this is the correct data website. I'm going to sign this with my private key, and I'm going to send it back. So then the website gets that and verifies the signature with your public key. And if you verify, then they know, hey, that's the only phone in the entire universe that can correctly sign the data we sent. So that must be you. So then they authenticate you at that point. So no secrets are leaving or transferring or making their way across the internet at all. Everything that goes out is public knowledge, public keys and your identifier. That's all there is.
So at
What's
that
the treat?
point, once all the public-private is exchanged, you will receive back the JOT token.
A JOT, yeah. Then it sends a JOT token that keeps you authenticated, and then you can use access tokens and refresh tokens and all that stuff from there. Just
That's
like
pretty
anybody
cool.
else. Just like anybody else. Yeah.
Can you use it offline? I would assume, right?
Boo.
You wouldn't be able to access the website offline.
You can't go to the website offline.
I'm trying to
yeah.
think because the public information would have to be online somewhere, right? Interesting.
Yeah, the website store, we store on behalf of the website, the public key.
Yeah, I'm like thinking through the fact, you can authenticate directly on the device because it has your private key, but I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, Britt, I cut you off.
Oh, I was wondering more about the coding side of this and how the code works. You said that anyone could build their own with the web API that's out
Web
there.
Authn API, yeah. Right.
Yeah. So does Passage give you like an SDK or something that kind of builds on top of that to give it a better developer experience or anything special?
Yes. For the web, we provide, we call them Passage elements, which are web components that you can embed into your JavaScript-based framework. So basically, anybody that can use web components. There you go. Thank you. Anybody who can use web components is able to use this. So you can use this in Svelte, you can use it in Next.js, React, Angular, Vue, anywhere. And all you have to do is import from our CDN the script, and then it says there's the passage element there, the passage dash auth, and then your app ID for whatever, because you create an application on our site and give it an app ID, and that way it identifies you. And that's basically it. That's pretty much all you need to do. And at that point, you just need to write a little code that authenticates users and make sure that somebody's authenticated. And then inside your app, you want to be able to say is logged in or is not logged in or whatever. But basically, it's a very small amount of code.
Yeah, this looks like so it's a client-side JavaScript. So I don't think you would be able to do this offline because it needs to run the JavaScript.
No, it requires access to our servers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then for the mobile, real quick, we have SDKs that you just code against our SDK, and we have one for iOS, and we're very close to releasing one for Google. For Android.
Oh, there's mobile native right at the bottom of the sidebar.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just went away again.
There
it is. Yeah, we have a Swift SDK, and then we're very close to releasing the Android SDK.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that you have like all the backend covered and everything. So
Yep. We show you how to embed stuff into Node as well. We have a nice Flask demo on our website as well. So
very cool.
Yeah. I had a question. I don't think it makes very much sense though, because I think I understand this more now that this is just authentication, not any authorization. Like
any authorization. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From a random question, just because we like to nerd out here, do you know what they're creating the elements in? Is it lit element or is it just?
We write all of our code in TypeScript.
Does it produce a web component out of like the TypeScript code using stencil?
I think what we do is we compile that down to JavaScript, and then that's what you get embedded into your application when you do the npm call.
Nice. I didn't know if you guys were producing a native component or using one of the
on the SDKs, we write that in Swift. Our backend stuff we write in Vue with Go.
Cool.
Yeah. The front end, is Vue. The back end is Go.
Nice.
Go.
That's kind of what Netlify is built on, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
So what are we missing? I feel like we've been talking forever about getting rid of passwords. This feels like maybe the beginning.
This is the beginning. We'd like to think that this coming year, 2023, is going to be the year of getting rid of passwords. So if you are a developer out there, I urge you to take a look at our stuff and implement a system to make your authentication system passwordless. We actually have the ability to migrate we got a blog post on talking about how you can migrate your existing group of users into Passage. Pretty straightforward way to do that. Certainly, you can augment. You can also augment your existing authentication with passwordless if you want to. So nice. Sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Not that you want to talk about this, but are there many competitors out there? Like AWS, I thought had something on like that.
AWS has a solution, I think. Firebase does, and there's certainly other competitors out there. Stitch, Hanko. The other sorry, off the top of my head, I can't think.
That's okay.
One thing I'll note is, we don't do internal network logins, so like we don't compete with Okta or Microsoft's Active Directory, anything like that. We're strictly public-facing, consumer-based application or web applications and mobile applications. So.
You've got me very curious when you said Firebase. I didn't know they had the actual bio side of this. I thought
they have a passwordless solution. Yeah.
They do like email links and stuff. So I'm gonna have to go dig around and find out. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm starting to see more and more magic links being used. The places just say,
Yeah.
type in
Same.
your email address, we'll send you a link, click it, and you're good.
Yeah, that's what we're on StreamYard. StreamYard did that from day one. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. One of the advantages of passwordless too is that it's a much more seamless experience for your users. I guess what I mean is that you come to the site, and then almost all types of logins right now require you to go somewhere else and then come back to the site.
That's
Whether
what
it be to go to your phone to get a 6-digit one-time password, go to your email to get a magic link, which is great, and that works, and that's more secure certainly than a password. But the way a true biometric system works is you go there, you click, you touch, and you're in. You don't have to, you don't have that focus change that takes place.
Yeah, I've been saying that about magic links for a while, that I'm not a huge fan of them. It's still better than like having to remember the password, but taking you out of the context of the website or whatever you're doing, back to your email and then come back. I could get distracted and do 100 other things before I come back to the website. So I love this method of using the biometrics and kind of integrating it, making it more seamless.
Yeah, I think the statistic is somewhere in the neighborhood of 30% of all shopping carts are abandoned by people who can't remember their password, don't want to remember their password, or just generally are get confused or befuddled about
that's
logging in.
Market.
So if you can reduce that number, that's money, right?
Yeah,
that's revenue.
that is.
Yeah.
Very cool. So no MFA. That's a miracle.
Well, interestingly, this is MFA because it's two things. One, a thing you have, your phone or your computer, and the other thing is a thing you are, your fingerprint or your face.
So on the desktop, when you don't have I don't have biometric reader of any kind, how do we consider the second piece there?
Then it's a magic link.
Okay, magic link or pin.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what mine did because I don't have a biometrics on my Windows computer, so
Mhm.
it sent it to the magic link. How did you enter your PIN though? I have a YubiKey for work, and those, you
yeah,
set
that'll
it
work
up
too.
with a YubiKey, and then you can then use your PIN to log into things after you set it up once.
Yes.
But it didn't register any the PIN or anything for me when I did it. It just sent the magic link automatically. Is there no way to register a device to use
I
the
can't.
PIN?
I think the magic link will be sent if you use a browser that doesn't implement WebAuthn.
Okay.
If you have a phone or a device that doesn't support biometrics and doesn't have biometrics enabled, support and enable biometrics. And I'm not sure, there may be another there may be another subtle esoteric system where the magic link gets sent out.
Okay. I just wondered if there was a way to just register it, but maybe I don't have it enabled. Maybe that's my problem. But no, I do because I use the PIN for other things. I don't know.
Yeah, the only reason I had to enter my PIN was because my laptop is flat behind my monitor.
Yeah.
I can't touch the screen. So it says, it asked me for my fingerprint, if you noticed when I did the demo, but I didn't have that, so I selected PIN and just typed in my 4-digit PIN. And again, the PIN doesn't leave your computer either. The PIN is known only locally. No secret ever leaves your device.
I was trying to think through. You said kind of a lot of sites take you out, like Auth0 takes you out to their hosted page and things like that. Is there a capability where you'll ever, if Firebase wants to add Passage as one of their providers, will that be a thing?
Could be. We'd love that.
Okay.
But yeah, that could be.
Just
Certainly.
because then they can pass the jot just like anybody else, I guess.
Yeah, it all ends up in a jot. Yeah.
Okay. I think I've beat up the passage thought and passwordless enough. It just sounds all
passed through the passage.
Sorry?
You've passed through the passage.
Pass through the passage, yeah. And we call our customers passengers.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Love it.
I thought we were headed towards spelunking or something.
Could be, yeah.
All right, guys. I think it's time for Purrfect Picks.
Okay.
I'm going to put Nick right on the spot right away because his is up.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, Big Bang Theory. Uh-oh, now you're spoiling it because this looks like
I can pause
Oh.
something.
Later episodes.
It's auto playing.
I'm
There.
working my way. So my perfect pick is working my way through Big Bang. I'm in season 8, I think, episode 5, and it's the one where she cuts her hair. So that's the season I'm at. So it looked like she has grown her hair out a little bit. So that looks like a later season scene.
Yeah.
No problem.
I
I'm really enjoying that. That it's a fun show for nerds, because they're all somebody knows what they're doing when they write the script.
What were they at? 10, 12 seasons? I can't find
I think
out
it's
here.
13 actually. I'm not
13.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, here we
I
go.
know. Yeah, season 12 at least.
12 with 14 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of shows. I'm watching 1 or 2, a day. So take me another 6 months to get through them.
Lasted longer than
there's
Friends.
24. What's that? It's 13 times 24. That's a lot.
That's too hard of math. We better move on.
Yeah, I can't do that math. And then the other technology I'm interested in, this is the laptop I'm looking at, is the Framework laptop. And as you can see from the video there, it's very repairable, very fixable, very upgradable. And in fact, they'll actually send you one unassembled that you have to assemble yourself, and that's cheaper, which I think is kind of cool.
God.
And then the other thing I like about it too is it's got those modules on the bottom that you could change. You can change it, flip in and out ports. So if you want an Ethernet port, or you want a USB-C, USB-A, whatever kind of ports you want on the side there. You can upgrade the memory and everything like that. There you go. There's the port. It's designed to be upgradable and do it yourself, fix it kind of.
I like this for kids because building an actual tower I don't think is as necessary anymore. This is
boy,
cool to show them the parts.
I don't know. I guess gamers do that, but
yeah, it's true.
I've built a computer.
I haven't had a tower computer in years.
I haven't built.
That's what I'm on right now.
Oh, really? Well, good for you. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I guess technically I have a tower. It's a Mac Studio, so.
I think every website needs to have a little video like that of their product, because that was amazing. Like as you're describing it, like you could just see everything that was happening with it.
Yep. Yeah, that is a good video. You can just see that it's all very, very upgradable, very fixable, very doable. Yeah.
All right, Britt, tell me about NOLA.
Right. Yeah. So I spent the weekend in bed and needed something to watch, and I watched Enola Holmes 2, and it was very good. I love Millie Bobby Brown. She's great in Stranger Things, and Henry Cavill is in it. And then Bellatrix, what's her name?
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yes, Helena Bonham Carter from Harry Potter fame.
Yes.
Also in it as the mom. And it's just a really fun movie. My kids watched it. They love it.
I enjoyed the first one. I think I like this one better.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I haven't seen either of them, but now you've convinced me.
We watched the second one with the kids first, and then they went back and watched the first one, and they enjoyed both of them.
They're really good. My pick.
I think you skipped my second one.
Oh, I didn't even see a second one. Sorry.
I dropped it in late.
I'll come back to your second one.
Okay.
Because I have to find it. My first pick is Notion AI. I probably will have to repick this because it's not like I can't access it yet, but just the idea of this occurring. So it's using AI in the background, probably one of the popular open ones. But when you start typing like your ideas out, it will finish the thought. I've been using another product that does this for writing blogs and things. And this is just like, oh, if we could integrate this, like we write our blogs in Notion. We can just.
Yeah, so I do the same thing too. I saw your tweet and I tried to join the wait list on my phone and it wouldn't let me. The button didn't work.
Oh.
So I was very upset that the button would press, but nothing would fire.
I hope you click it on desktop now.
Yeah, I should go try.
That looks pretty amazing.
It is going to be pretty slick because
I'm going to give that a shot.
I always have to jump out to something. Not that I need it AI and everything, but it's really when you're stuck on something, you're like, how do I phrase this? You can put it in and boom, there it is.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a pretty big game changer. I think it was #1 on Product Hunt.
Product. You're right. I saw it there. Yeah.
This was on Product Hunt yesterday, so AppRights Console 2.0. I had to pick it. It was a lot of work for the team. Brittany will appreciate it because it's Felt Kit, so all this felty goodness it's written in.
Yeah, I know. I went looking for that earlier today too. I was like, oh, why can't I see it? And I forgot that there wasn't a cloud version, so I needed to be running the console locally.
So here's like a live view.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. And I'm like, why can't I find this? But I don't have a local version of it because I refuse to install Docker.
Here's the light mode.
But it
Dark
is so slick. I was talking about how nice the UI looks, and it's fast and punchy.
I can't wait till our cloud comes out and so many more people will be able to experience it. So there's that. Okay, circling back. I have a remix conf link.
Okay, yeah. So
Ooh.
tomorrow is the track that I am emceeing, but Remix Conf EU is going on right now. There's the indie track, and then I'm doing the blues track, and then there's 2 free workshops that are even happening next week. So it's just going on, and it's really great. Like, I'm really excited for tomorrow. Although I hope I can talk for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be medicating very heavily in the morning.
You need like a steroid shot to get through the day. Sheesh.
Yeah. I hope that it's going to go okay, but we'll see.
Do you know, is it a lot of live talks or pre-recorded?
I think all of the talks are pre-recorded, but Kent C. Dodds is the speaker first thing tomorrow morning, and then
Never heard of him.
never heard of that guy. Yeah.
Cool.
Chance is going to do a Q&A with us. I got to meet Chance at Jamstack.conf.
Oh, nice. I so am bummed I missed Jamstack.conf.
Facundo, I met Facundo. I didn't meet Yuri, but I'm working with Yuri at work now, so I'm excited about that too.
Oh yeah, I know.
Very cool. All right, folks. Well, I think we're gonna end it there, and I hope everyone stays healthy. This has not been a good start to the winter.
Cannot get another sickness after this.
Nick, really appreciate you coming on and showing us.
Hey, glad to do it. I'm grateful for the time. Appreciate the opportunity.
You'll have to come back on if OnePassword does something crazy with.
I'll let you know. I'm sure we will.
Sounds good.
All right. See you.
Thanks. Later.
Bye-bye.